Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share with you my Stephen King Readathon wrap-up. For those of you that don't know or don't remember, I took part in a Stephen King Readathon that started on August 21st and finished on September 21st, and my initial plan was to read 3 books, and I read 2, so didn't do quite as well as I thought I was going to do, but I'm going to talk about the 2 books that I did read today in this video. First up, I listened to End of Watch on audio, and this is the 3rd book in the Bill Hodges trilogy. And this trilogy was interesting to me because it was a detective thriller kind of series, and that's something that Stephen King hasn't really done, so it was different. This particular book has a supernatural element to it, which the other 2 did not. And I was really intrigued by that, oh, okay, he's going to bring in some of his classic kind of supernatural stuff, you know, into this series. And I was kind of just interested to see how it was going to turn out. And the way he did that was that the bad guy from the first book, from Mr. Mercedes, his name's Brady Hartsfield, I believe. Is it Brady Hartsfield? Yeah. He, in the end of the first book, I don't know if I'm going to spoil this for anyone. Sorry if I spoil this for you. He is in a coma. So in the 3rd book, he is back, and he has a supernatural gift in that he is telekinetic. He can move things with his mind, and he can also kind of control people with his mind in a kind of roundabout way. And so I was interested in that. I thought it was going to be a really interesting take on this detective thriller series to kind of throw that, to kind of shake things up and throw in a supernatural element. Well, I didn't like it. I thought that the whole concept was cool, but I felt like the execution was just kind of weird. And I don't think I'll give much away by saying the way he kind of does it is he finds a way to get these old school, almost like Game Boy type gaming systems out to these people that he wants to get revenge on. And he finds a way to hypnotize them through one of the games on this console and basically tricks them into committing suicide. Right? An interesting idea because, I mean, if you think about it, I can see where Stephen King got the idea from, because he's probably thinking all of us all the time have our faces in some sort of phone or tablet or something. What would happen if somebody could control your mind through these devices that we are already so addicted to? So I understood where the concept came from and what he was trying to explore, but I just didn't like it. Specifically, a bunch of the people that get these consoles are teenagers, and to me, I felt like, why would a teenager want an old school Game Boy? They wouldn't even want that. They would just play it on their phone or their tablet or whatever, because they already have something. They don't need an old school, it was called a Zap-It, I think, in the book. And I just felt like that was just not realistic. And as a whole, in this whole series, one of the biggest things that irritated me about this series was that I felt like Stephen King is a little bit out of touch with today's youth, and it's really sad to me because he's usually so good about writing just anybody, any sort of character, and I felt like in this series, though, the teenagers were just not realistic at all. The way that they talked, just everything. It just, it really bothered me, and especially in this book, because I was like, why would a 16-year-old kid want a Zap-It? They wouldn't. And then, like I said, just the way they talked and things. And it's just really sad because I don't know if it's because he is getting older. I mean, he is 70. So, I mean, he might be a little out of touch with how kids today are. But that was a big, big drawback for me. I think overall this book, though it had some interesting concepts and everything, was pretty much a letdown. It was definitely the worst book of the 3 for me. I feel like the books got progressively worse. I thought Mr. Mercedes was the best. Finders Keepers was meh. Because my problem with Finders Keepers was that Bill Hodges was barely in it. He didn't show up until the last half of the book, which was really weird. And then this one is more like a sequel to Mr. Mercedes because it deals more with Brady Hartsfield. but I just felt like it just did not deliver. I did not care for it. It was a disappointment, guys, really. And I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. So I don't even think I could recommend it. I don't even know if I would recommend the whole series to people. I would say Mr. Mercedes is good. I felt like maybe he should have just stuck to that one book because the other 2 were just not as good. So yeah, there's that. And then after I read End of Watch, or listened to End of Watch, I read The Colorado Kid, which is another one that is kind of a departure from what he normally writes. This is a hard case crime book, and honestly, I liked this, but I feel like this cover is a little deceiving. I was expecting like a detective story, and it was not that at all. This book deals with a mystery involved in this one small little town, I believe it's in New England, Maine, and it's being told by these 2 old newspaper men, and they're telling it to this young intern, this young girl who's interning with them, and it's this mystery that has never been solved. So you go into the book knowing that you're not going to get answers. So if that's something that you know you wouldn't like, then you probably wouldn't like this book. But because you don't find out what happened to, involving this mystery, where basically this dead man was found on the beach, and there's all this mystery surrounding how he got there and why he was there and all of that, and you don't really get any answers. But you go, like I said, you go into the book knowing that. So what I did like about this book was I did like the 3 characters, the 2 old men. I thought they had I liked their, I just liked their character. I liked the way they bantered back and forth with each other. And so it was kind of like a story within a story, which I like because that's not something you always read. And I thought that the little town where everything took place was also interesting. So I liked this. I didn't love it, but it had good characters and it had a good setup, where I wouldn't mind if maybe he did another book dealing with those characters or that little town, or actually I think it's an island, the little island, because I just thought it was interesting. But overall it was good, but like I said, didn't love it, didn't hate it, so I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. So overall, my Stephen King readathon was not as successful or exciting as I thought it was going to be. I did not get a chance to read the Tommyknockers. I didn't even crack it open. I really wanted to, but it just didn't happen. I had a couple of library books come in during that time that I really wanted to get to, and so I just didn't get to the Tommyknockers, but I will read it eventually, hopefully soon. So, but yeah, I mean, so I did okay, I guess, for the Stephen King readathon. I mean, the books didn't blow my mind, and that happens, it's End of Watch is not the first 2-star book that I've given to a Stephen King book, and it certainly won't be the last. That's what I love about him. He has books, I have read books of his that I've given 5 stars to and that I rave about, and then I have books of his that I've given 2 stars and I hated. So he's kind of all over the place for me, and that's okay. I mean, the man has been writing books for 40 years. Like, he's not gonna write home run books, 5-star great books every single time. So it happens, and doesn't change my love for him as a writer. He's still one of my favorite writers, and I'm going to continue to read his work, and hopefully catch up to him someday. So it's, it is what it is. But yeah, so that is what I read for the Stephen King readathon. If you guys took part, please let me know in the comments what you guys read and what you thought of what you read, because I would love to know. And yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. So I hope that you're having a wonderful week, and that the readathon, if you did take part, went good for you, and that the rest of your reading month has gone good. So other than that, I will talk to you soon. Bye!